The most rewarding part about being a barista, to make the coffee community better. If I had to give little barista me some advice, yeah, let me, I don't know what I should say. Hi, my name is Morgan, also known as Morgan Drinks Coffee, and this is Behind the Cup, Season 2. I am from Corvallis, Oregon. I work at a small coffee shop called Tried and True Coffee, and I'm a barista and social media manager. The first time I realized there was something kind of special about coffee was the first time I ever ordered a cappuccino, which is something totally different for me. I'm pretty sure I ordered it just because I thought the name was fancy and I thought I was gonna be like a fancy adult by ordering a cappuccino. I got it, had no idea what I was getting, and didn't enjoy it at all. It was like 2 shots of espresso and like 3 ounces of milk, and I was not a fan. But in that moment, I decided this was something that I wanted to figure out how to like. From then on, I decided I was going to learn more about coffee, I was going to learn to enjoy it, I was gonna learn what I was actually drinking when I ordered something, and it just escalated from there. The motivation that has really carried me through in the coffee industry has 100% been people. I got really interested in coffee because of the people at the shop that I frequently went to. I thought they were amazing people and I just wanted to be friends with them. I just wanted to get to know them better. And now as a barista, I want to create that experience for others. I want people to come into my shop. I want them to feel comfortable. I want them to be my friend. It's one of those things that every time I find myself kind of like dipping down with my job or kind of hitting a wall a little bit, I remind myself about all the amazing people I've met along the way, all the amazing people that I still can meet along the way, and that really keeps me going in this industry. The most rewarding part about being a barista. It sounds really cheesy, but it always ends up coming back to people. Our jobs are ultimately based around, building relationships. In specialty coffee, it's not just about serving a great cup of coffee, that's a component of it, but it's about building an experience, building a safe space, building relationships. And I think it really just comes back to the people I've met and the fact that I get to spend every day at work around amazing people. To make the coffee community better, I think we can constantly work on becoming even more of a community. I think we're strongest when we're together, when we're like family versus being in just competition with each other. Competition is a phenomenal way to bring people together, whether we're talking like the US Coffee Champs, whether we're talking localized throwdowns, Coffee Fest, any of that. I'm not saying those competitions are bad. Those are absolutely phenomenal in bringing together people. But I think the issue really lies when baristas become competitive in a mean-spirited way with one another, or you get into the competition of this shop is better than this shop. I think that's where a lot of anger and frustration can fester. And so the thing that we can continually work on and could make the coffee community better is accepting each another for the way we do things and working on becoming a community in the sense of friendship and family over, comparisons. If I had to give little barista me some advice, I would say don't be afraid to try new things. I had a very set image of what a barista is and what a barista should be when I started in coffee, just from what I'd seen in the past. But baristas can be whoever they want to be. You can have your own identity. You don't have to conform to, whatever you think a barista should be. Do what you want to do what you love to do it the way you want to do it. In the end, it's coffee, and in my opinion, there's no wrong way to drink or do coffee. A mocha, if I have to answer that really quickly. That was the first drink that I really, really enjoyed with coffee in it. I think I went to a Starbucks and got a white chocolate mocha or something like that. And I've graduated from white chocolate. I really like dark chocolate now, but mochas are still one of my favorites. Funny story, actually, a little bit about iced cappuccinos. It was one of my very first weeks working at the shop. I had this really, really lovely couple walk in, and one of them orders a small iced latte, and the other one orders a small iced cappuccino. So I turn around to the other barista because I'm totally confused. I'm like, why do we make them? And he goes, just make the same thing. So made 2 small iced lattes essentially, and I handed it off to them. And I distinctly remember one of the couple asking, hey, which one of this is the iced cappuccino? And I had this moment of panic, and I think I just pointed out one of them. And I went, that's the iced cappuccino. But it's a small iced latte, you know? If I had to leave with one thing, I was talking to my boss recently after competing in Nashville at the US Coffee Champs. And we were talking about kind of what our life missions are at this point, like if you had to have a thesis for what you're doing in life. And I ultimately settled on, with all the internet stuff I do, with all the stuff I do with my job, is that my main goal at this part of my life and at this point in my coffee career is that I want to make specialty coffee as accessible as possible for people outside of the space. And I mean that in the sense of people who don't know what specialty coffee is, don't know how to get in it, people who aren't even baristas. Like, we have this awesome little world of specialty coffee that is phenomenal. I love it. It's become like my second home. But there's a lot of people who just don't know anything about it, and maybe they would also enjoy it. And so kind of my mission now with everything I do is, how can I make specialty coffee visible, in the grander scale of things? Like, how can I make it so that person on the street is like, specialty coffee. Yeah, I understand the difference between that and like a Starbucks shop. It's one of those things that I think we can have so much more education on a mainstream level, and that's really what I want to work on. So we'll see how it goes.
Awesome.
Oh no.